Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nate, also known as Mewtwo Fan Nate, and I am your coach of the New York Noibats for this season of the APA. We are in the 5th season of the American Pokemon Association, and I think this is our third season in a row? Nani? I think so. So just quick shout out to Emvee and Leo, SixftHax, for kind of helping me draft along the way. So those guys are cool for that. Another thing about this draft is that it's different than probably other people's drafts that you've, other draft leagues that you may have watched. If you guys have not watched other people's draft analysis, which is probably the plural for draft analysis, because draft analysis sounds way too wrong in my head and probably out loud to you guys as well. So we're just going to go with that, draft analysis. And I think you guys may have seen this already, but if you haven't, I'm going to explain it to you anyway. So, pretty much you get to draft not 1, not 2, but 3 times a season. That's right, guys. Every 4 weeks, every 4 battles, a new team will hit the field. It keeps things refreshing for you, keeps things refreshing for me, and it pretty much just benefits everyone. Probably except for me, because I take probably 4 weeks to learn and get accustomed to a team. So maybe not so good for me, but it's going to be nice for you. So that's really what matters here, right? Do it for you guys. For you. Anyway, so now that I'm done with the cringe, let's just face it. You can never be done with the cringe when you're watching me. Let's just face it. Just, I guess, to go into like the actual rules. So pretty much we do draft 3 times throughout the season. If we do make it to playoffs, we can actually draft a 4th time and make an all-star team out of the 3 drafts that we have drafted. I feel like I said draft like 97 times in that sentence, but you guys get it. Oh my god, dude, I'm so bad. So you get to draft an all-star team with the Pokemon that you've done. So you get unlimited Z moves, so pretty much any Pokemon can use a Z Crystal, except Omni boosting Z Crystals. So anything that gives you like a +1 in all of your stats or a +2 in all of your stats, that's banned. You can't use that. That's too broken, too powerful, and not allowed. Not allowed. So, pretty much just like going into the draft now. Like I'm sorry I wasted so much time without talking about the picks. Hopefully you enjoyed this so far. If you guys are excited, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, all that stuff if you haven't already. So pretty much our first pick is Zygarde, because Zygarde has a lot of things going for it. The most important thing that Zygarde has is the most broken move that probably exists in the game, and that is 1,000 Arrows. 1,000 Arrows says, even if you're a flying type, I can still hit you with my ground type move. Even if you have Levitate that you usually wouldn't be able to hit levitating Pokemon with, you can still hit it with 1,000 Arrows. So very good broken move. And Zygarde just has that going for it, plus the tremendous bulk. You guys can see the base 108 HP, the base 121 defense, and the base 95 special defense. Gonna be kind of a thick snack. It also has different setup options, with Coil giving you a +1 in attack, defense, and accuracy, or you can go with Dragon Dance, which is a little bit more, I would say, aggressive, speedier, because it gives you a +1 in attack and speed. So really, really good there. So it doesn't have to run just Choice Band Zygarde every week. You can run like Substitute with leftovers and Dragon Dance if you so wish to have that. Which, I mean, I don't know why I said you, because I'm definitely talking about myself. So we have that going for Zygarde. It also has different facing options. I can go for a Dragon Tail, and we can kind of pair that with different hazard setters that we get along the way, and kind of just get chip things on things that the opponent has. So we also have extreme speed priority. That's a plus, not 1, but plus 2 priority. So that goes before Bullet Punch, goes before Quick Attack. It's really good to have that. It's also base 80 power, and you can kind of couple that with the versatility that Zygarde has with the move Camouflage, and you can kind of turn that into a stab move. So it gets the same type attack bonus for all those new to Draft League players that you don't know, or new to Pokemon in general, new to competitive Pokemon. This is some high IQ, 3000 IQ things we're talking about here. So it also has 1000 Waves, so that is a trapping move, and what that does is it says your opponent cannot switch out after they've been hit by this, unless they go for like U-turn or Volt Switch, but they can't Volt Switch on Zygarde, so they would have to U-turn. So it's good for trapping things in. You can kind of design a set with around 1000 Waves to specifically taking out a certain Pokemon. So it's good in that aspect, I guess. So the next Pokemon that we're going to talk about, because I feel like I've talked so much about Zygarde, is going to be this cute little guy right here, and that's Manaphy. Manaphy is a water type in our Fire, Water, Grass core, and I don't believe I said it already, but Zygarde is our dragon in our Fairy Steel Dragon core, or Fairy Dragon Steel. I don't know the order of the words that they're supposed to be in, but I'm saying Fairy Dragon Steel core. Deal with it. Deal with it, you Smogon know-it-alls, okay? So anyway, it's going to be the water in the Fire, Water, Grass core. It's really just a good Pokemon to have because it forces prep on my opponent's team. You always have to be prepared for a Tail Glow Manaphy, or else it just will literally sweep you. This thing has 6-0'd teams before. I've seen it happen. Shout out to aDrive's and Root's game where Root got destroyed. Anyway, so it's good for that. You always have to be prepared for this. Because of its stats, it can really be made to do anything. Like it can be specially defensive, physically defensive, especially offensive. It really could just do anything, except maybe be physically offensive because it doesn't have the move pool for it probably. But knowing me will probably make it work because I'm all for the spice. I'm all for the memes. And yeah, I think Manaphy is just a really good Pokemon. It's gonna help take Ice Beams and Hidden Power Ices that Zygarde does not appreciate. So the next Pokemon that we have to draft has to be something that stops grass types. So I chose Amoonguss, and as ugly as it is, which we're probably all in agreement that Amoonguss is probably the ugliest Pokemon that may have existed. I don't know, there might be some debate around Aromatisse, but Amoonguss is probably up there in the top 5. This is going to be our grass type and our Fire, Water, Grass core. It has the ability Regenerator, so it gains 1/3 of its health on the switch-in. It's just really good for not letting grass types be effective. I mean, with the typing and its stats, it really it's good against grass types. So that's really why you have it. It's bulky. It absorbs toxic spikes. You also have the move Spore, which is a 100% put you to sleep move unless you're a grass type. And it doesn't really, like, people say that it's kind of passive and it lets things set up on it, but you have the move Clear Smog to kind of punish that in a way. So you get to do a little bit of damage to them and it gets rid of their setup. So really, really nice for that. It also has Synthesis for reliable recovery. If I could say that word right, that'd be awesome. So that's good. Keeps it extremely healthy, very hard to take down, and I think it's going to be a good Pokemon to have on the team. The next Pokemon is our Khakis, or our car keys, the Klefki, which is a Fairy and Steel Pokemon, and it kind of just rounds up our Fairy Dragon Steel core. It has the ability Prankster. Its stats aren't really too impressive, but the main focus is the ability Prankster, giving a +1 priority, always going first on its status moves. So the main attraction about that is that Klefki has access to spikes, which is a hazard, so you can hazard stack your opponent. and do it pretty easily. You don't also have to do that. You could just run it as a defog user. It gets defog. Defog gets rid of all the hazards on the field, and it also has access to screens and Thunder Wave, so you can run supportive set with the light screen and reflect. You can also make this a setup type of Pokemon with Calm Mind, or you can like use Switcheroo, which is another priority move, and you can give your opponent maybe like an Iron Ball or a Lagging Tail. That could be kind of funny, or just Toxic, which could be cool. You can set up maybe a Rain Dance if that has this move for the Manaphy, or a Sunny Day, which could be something later on. Wink. Oh, that was a terrible wink. I'm gonna edit that shit out. Holy Jesus. That was a terrible, cringy wink. Oh my god. Alright, so with that being said, I think we covered about everything with this. So we're gonna move on to the next Pokemon, which is Uxie. Uxie is just a bulky Psychic type, like really, really thick. And it has the ability Levitate, which you guys probably know what that does. But it's really nice because it pairs well with Klefki. Klefki is weak to ground. Uxie immune to the ground type moves. And the main attraction with Uxie is not the pretty gem in the middle of its forehead, with it being woke. It's not. It's 3000 IQ. It's stats. It's those defensive stats. You can IV or EV this thing, I should say, to live any hit, which pretty much lets you get a guaranteed Stealth Rock. Before Uxie, we did not have a Stealth Rocker on our team, so Uxie does give us a really good lead Pokemon that can set up hazards. It's really good. It also has a really nice speed stat. I feel like that's probably overlooked at base 95 speed. So it can usually let us outspeed other walls and get off like maybe a supporting move, such as the Sunny Day. Wink, wink, wink. Rain Dance, but most importantly, this is, I wrote this in all caps in my notes because I don't know why. But Memento with the Z moves is pretty much a way to heal one of the Pokemon on your team back to full while sacrificing Uxie. And I think that's just huge for Zygarde. Absolutely huge. Bringing a Zygarde back up to full just seems like the scariest thing that you can think of for your opponent. Like getting Manaphy or Zygarde just that can set up, I think it would give me a nightmare. I think my butt cheeks would be clenched if I saw that happen. I don't know. But that's one of the main attractions with the Z moves and Memento that Uxie can do. It also has access to Heal Bell, so it gives us a Cleric. And if you decide to, it doesn't have to be done this way every single time, but if we give the Z move to Uxie with Heal Bell, it completely restores Uxie's HP, and you can kind of run Uxie as a setup Pokemon with maybe Power Up Punch or Calm Mind, however you're feeling, or I should say however I'm feeling, because I'm the one playing this team. You guys can always draft it and try it out as well if you want to, but I don't know. I'm just so bad when it comes to draft analysis, guys. I'm sorry. I really hope you like this. Please leave a like to let me know that this was entertaining at the very least for you. But you could do that type of thing if you'd like. And it just has a plethora of different coverage moves. I think it gets like Thunderbolt. I think it gets like Energy Ball maybe. I don't think it gets Flamethrower, which might be strange, but it does get some really good coverage moves here and there that can kind of work in our advantage depending on the week. But that's really all about it for Uxie. We're going to move on to the next Pokemon, which is Crobat. And Crobat, it's a poison flying type, which is really helpful for Zygarde because of the typing. It really just stops grass types from an offensive standpoint, whereas the Amoonguss was more of a defensive stop to grass types. So between these two, we already have some pretty good responses to the grass types that our opponent might have. This thing has a huge, absolutely huge speed stat. Base 130, outspeeding almost everything. There's just a select few Pokemon that can outspeed this. And because of that speed stat, it makes Crobat insanely versatile. Because you don't have to run max speed to outspeed a certain threat on your opponent's team, you can make this thing bulky. You can turn this thing into like a bulky taunt user with like U-turn, and it has reliable recovery and roost. It gets access to defog, getting rid of all the hazards on the field, which is huge, absolutely huge. But it doesn't have to be that way. It can also be extremely offensive. Base 90, like base 120 power flying stab, same type attack bonus Brave Birds. Are you kidding me? Coming off of a Crobat attack stat, that's more than Talonflame. Do you guys remember how crazy Talonflame was in Gen 6 on how strong it was? People were saying that was broken. They had to nerf Talonflame in the next gen games because of how strong Talonflame was. I don't know if that's true or not. I just made it up, but it seems accurate. I don't know. don't quote me. But anyway, Choice Banded Brave Bird from Crobat is just really strong. It doesn't also have to be physical. Like, it has access to Nasty Plot, so it can give itself a +2 special attack raise. And then utilizing things like Sludge Bomb and Air Slash and Heat Wave and Giga Drain and probably some other moves. I think it's like Shadow Ball, like other special attacking moves that you know, could be cool. But that's really all it for Crobat. I'm pretty sure there's probably more because of how good this thing is. I guess Infiltrator and Inner Focus are pretty decent abilities. Inner Focus says you can't be flinched. Infiltrator says that it kind of ignores Substitute and Light Screen and Reflect, so that's cool. Maybe it can utilize that in a week or two. We have our next Pokemon, Minshall. And this thing has the abilities Reckless and Regenerator, which are huge, really good abilities. It's just, there's really not much to say about Minshall. It's just a super hard-hitting fighting type that is really hard to switch into because of U-turn, knockoff, and whatever rock coverage that I decide to put on it. So it kind of, the Volt Turn type of team, it pairs really well with Uxie and Klefki, because Klefki can set up spikes, Uxie can set up Stealth Rocks, and then between like Crobat and Minshall and probably some Electric type Pokemon that we'll draft down the road, we will have a decent Volt Turn type of thing going on, so we can go for Volt Switch or U-turn, switch out, do some damage, and get another Pokemon in, just causing everything to rack up the damage. So Minshall, really good for that. It also has respectable special attack, base 95, so you can run like Hidden Power Ice pretty okayly, you know, I would say. And I think that might be it for Minshall. I don't think there's too much other to say. Like, it just powerful high jump kicks, just break down teams with Reckless. Not too many switch-ins, honestly. Where am I going? Excuse me. The next Pokemon. Okay. So, the next Pokemon that we have drafted is Regirock. Regirock is thick. It is big boy man. Shout out to Mr. Talent. This guy is just so thick, dude. It's really just a super reliable Stealth Rocker because of the thickness that it has, the defense, its special defense, its HP, really good. Respectable attack as well. It doesn't really have too much that it does. It can potentially be a setup threat with like maybe Power Up Punch or Weakness Policy and Rock Polish, so it has that going for it. But other than that, not really too much to say about Regirock besides it's thick. Our next Pokemon that we have drafted is not all these coverage moves. But Alolan Raichu. All right. That's gonna bother me unless that's like centered. There we go. Alolan Raichu. It is just a very fast electric and offensive psychic type. Volt Switch is great. Really good Z move. I believe it's Spark Surfer or something like that. Stoke Surfer. I don't know. I don't know honestly, but it's just a really good Z move. It does a lot of damage with Thunderbolt, and it guarantees a paralysis. So, really cool. It has setup options with Nasty Plot or Calm Mind. You might be able to use a Calm Mind variant with, like, maybe Wish to kind of be bulky. I don't know if that's, like, legal, Calm Mind and Wish, but maybe. If it is, then it could be a pretty decently thick Pokemon. I mean, base 85 defense doesn't seem too do bad. But for that, you know, reason, I think it's good. Just a really good, fast, base 110 speed, great speed tier, really good special attack with Nasty Plot setup or Volt Switching. It just seems like a really hard Pokemon to switch into, just because a lot of the things that would switch in on a you know, the electric type move, they might not want to take the psychic type move. So it's just pretty good for that, I would say. The next Pokemon that we have drafted, and don't get too excited about this, guys. I wasn't planning on drafting this. I really wasn't. But this... Oh my god, I just felt like my entire, like, throat just, like, burped. And I couldn't even open up my mouth for that. That was crazy. Wigglytuff. Yes, we have drafted Tickles again. And this thing can be kind of thick. Base 140 HP, so pretty thick. But it's 45... defense, and it's 50 special defense, kind of holding it back a little bit, not gonna lie. But the cool thing about this is its abilities with Frisk. Frisk is just huge, just to like get information on what your opponent's gonna bring, what item they have, might give some intel on what kind of set they're gonna be running. So Stealth Rocks, Heal Bell, competitive boosting a competitive boosting your special attack by 2 stages if one of your stats get dropped, and that can be pretty good because you can kind of maybe predict a defog on your opponent's team, bring this in on it, and have a pretty thick +2 Wigglytuff, which could be kind of funny if Wigglytuff just puts in the work. So it also pairs well with Zygarde, also being a fairy type, just passing off fat wishes, like base 140 HP wishes off to Zygarde, which is crazy. It also has lots of coverage, just there's just too many to list off, but most of the important ones are just like the elemental, like Thunderbolt, Flamethrower type of things, Shadow Ball, and Focus Blast. Really just those things. And I think, that being said, Wigglytuff is pretty good. Hopefully it does some stuff. I hope to bring it a couple times. I feel like maybe because we didn't bring the Wish Protects type of set with Wigglytuff, I feel like we always ran it offensive. We're gonna try giving the defensive sets more of a chance. I think that you know, I need to have faith in the Tickles in order for us to actually utilize it. So hopefully we do that this season. And we do need a Mega. There's it's the last pick over, not overall, but the last my last pick is gonna be my Mega Pokemon, and we chose Mega Houndoom. Mega Houndoom, very good doggo. It's really fast, base 115 speed, really good speed tier, base 140 special attack. Holy Jesus, this thing is going to break some walls. And not only that, it can set up with Nasty Plot, becoming even scarier. This actually rounds out the fire, water, grass core that we started way back in the draft, and it's just good for that reason. You know, dark and fire type, powerful stabs with Overheat, Fire Blast, Dark Pulse. It could also be a little physical thing, you know, maybe with Flame Charge and Sucker Punch. But the cool thing is that you can actually run Destiny Bond on this thing. So I dare you to hit me. I dare you. You're gonna regret it. So, you know, Destiny Bond says if you get taken down, and, you know, then you bring them down with you. So Also, pretty good taunt user. And that's probably about it for it. No, I can't think of anything else that this guy can do. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the draft. Let me know your thoughts down below. And hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow for week 1. And thank you all for watching. I will see you all next time. All right, bye.